just have one question, atheists. Why do you care so much what we believe? It states in the Constitution, or in the amendments, whatever, part of our American country that we live in, and to you that don't live in America, I'm sure most of you at least have free speech of some sort. But mainly I'm speaking from my point of view since I do live in America. But to the atheists that live in America, we have freedom of speech. Therefore, I can believe in God and you can't. It doesn't matter. But why do you care so much? Why do you care what I believe? Why do you care what millions of people believe? It makes no sense. Why don't you go attack Muslims or people of the Jewish faith or Buddhists or Confucianists or Hindus? Why don't you attack them, but yet you attack Christians the most? Is that because you know it's the truth and you're just afraid of what God's going to have in store for you whenever you do die without repenting and without accepting Christ?
Oh boy. Okay, well let's talk about fear for a second before I get into the meat of this video. I don't really understand this fear argument that you're making. You see, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in your God. I don't believe in any God. So all this subsequent dogma that you're talking about, heaven and hell and what God has in store for me when I die, I don't really consider that shit because I don't believe it exists. You see what I'm getting at? I have no reason to fear hell because I don't believe that hell exists. In fact, I think that this fear argument is more correctly applied to you as a Christian. See, I think you as a Christian allow fear to dictate what you believe and disbelieve. I think it's you as a Christian that fears roasting on a spit for all of eternity if you should fuck up here on earth. I think it's you as a Christian who needs that carrot on a stick to get you through life. You need that big handful of Skittles at the end of the rainbow. If I'm just good for 80 years and if I'm good here on earth and I get to go up to heaven and worship at the feet of Jesus for whatever the fuck you believe. I don't believe any of that. So your fear argument applies better to you than it does to me. But you do raise an interesting question, and this is what I really want to talk about today. You ask, why do American atheists spend so much time harping on Christianity? Now, I don't like to speak for other people, but I happen to be an American atheist, so I'll speak for myself. I hope to explain this to you to the best of my ability. Why do I spend so much time harping on Christianity? Why don't I diss on the Muslims a little bit? Why don't I go over here and throw a handful of verbal shit at the Hindus? And it's an interesting question. You know, this little world that you've created for yourself and you seem to think that you're living in, this world where everybody just lives and let lives, and, you know, I'm a Christian and I don't care what anybody else believes. I believe what I believe, and I'm content to just live and let everybody else believe or disbelieve at their leisure. If that world existed, I probably never would have made a YouTube account. Unfortunately, and I hate to burst your bubble, man, but unfortunately that fucking world, it doesn't exist. Okay? It's a fucking fantasy. Alright, Christianity is not content to live and let live. Christianity in this country seeks to impose its dogma, to impose its bigotry on everybody else through law. Alright, now, somebody can correct me on this if I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. To my knowledge, there's never been a Hindu standing on the floor of the House of Representatives trying to get an amendment to the Constitution that states that it's bad and ugly and disgusting for two homosexuals to enjoy the same social rights as heterosexuals. To my knowledge, that's never happened. Christians have done it, though. Christians seek to impose that bigotry on everybody else. Okay? Recently, I'm a Californian, and recently here in California, we passed, thanks in large part to a bunch of bigoted fucking Christians, Proposition 8, which wrote into the California Constitution that marriage is defined as a union between a man and a woman. And there were a lot of pickets going on both sides of this issue. And every time I drove by one of the pro-Prop 8 pickets, and I saw these Christians holding picket signs saying, Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, you know, what the fuck ever. Every time I saw one of those picket signs, it may as well, for me, it may as well have read, no half-nigger babies, no mixed-race marriages. There's no fucking difference. They're seeking to impose bigotry that they use the Bible to support on everybody else. All right, now, you may not know this, but up until as recently as 1967, it was illegal in a lot of states here in America for a black man to marry a white woman or vice versa. Mixed-race marriages were flat-out fucking illegal. And one of the main arguments against mixed-race marriages were, you want to take a guess? That's right, biblical arguments. I'm going to read you one of the passages that Christians back then used to justify their hate. This is from Joshua chapter 23, verses 12 and 13. Else, if ye do in any wise go back, and cleave unto these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you, know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps unto you, and scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish from off this good land which the Lord your God hath given you. So they used verses like this to justify their hatred and bigotry. And just like with Prop 8, they succeeded in imposing that hatred and bigotry on everybody else. So as long as Christianity is doing shit like that, you can bet I'm going to continue to harp on it. As long as I live in this country, and in this country Christians are seeking to write bullshit like that into the Constitution, you can bet your fucking ass that I'm going to speak up about it. Okay? Because it affects me. It affects the world that I live in. It affects the country that I live in. So you can bet your ass I'm going to harp on Christianity until this little fantasy world of yours exists. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. Another reason why I harp on Christianity, and if you go back and look at my videos, you'll see that a lot of my videos deal with Christians that propagate misinformation about atheists. You as Christians, you fear atheism. Atheism fucks with your little rosy worldview. The fact that there are people out there that disbelieve and are vocal about it, it fucks with your little let's all hold hands and be bigoted together worldview. So you seek to propagate all this bullshit information about atheism. And I was going to give you an example, but you make a great example of it yourself here in your video. So I'll let you take it from here.
You don't want us to believe in God. And you try so hard. And you post hateful comments and you say stupid things. You make yourselves look stupid.
Make ourselves look stupid, like saying that dinosaurs existed 6,000 years ago? or that the world is only 6,000 years old, or whatever the fuck? Make ourselves look stupid like that? Make ourselves look stupid like the tons of fucking Christians that come and comment on my videos, giving me explicit details about how I'm going to roast for eternity?
But what are you trying to accomplish by that? If I as a Christian see an atheist acting stupid and posting hateful comments, what does that make me think about not believing in God? It makes me think that you guys are immoral. You are just absolutely crazy, and your lifestyle isn't better than mine. How do you guys don't live a better lifestyle than me just because you're an atheist, and I don't live a better lifestyle than you just because I'm a Christian. But I'm saying a life without God is not a life worth living because there's no purpose in life. You guys just live life. You live your life out 80 years or whatever, and then you die, and then you think that's it. But see, I have a purpose, and my purpose is to live eternally in heaven with God the Father, Jesus Christ, and reign with Him forever.
So do you get it now? Do you understand why I might take offense at your insinuation that because I don't believe in your great googly moogly that somehow my life is completely pointless and worthless? Do you see what I'm getting at? You see, the misconception here is that I care what you believe. I could honestly give two shits and a fuck what you believe. There are some atheists out there that spend their time trying to deconvert religious people and whatever, that floats their boat. I could give a fuck less what you believe. Most of the people that I know and love in my life are Christians. Okay? Most of my family, most of my friends are Christians. Alright? Just because a stupid Christian drops by on my fucking, comment section and posts some ignorance, I don't apply that attribute to every Christian in my fucking life. Whereas you apply, because there's an atheist out there that might have made a stupid statement, or might have made some statement that rubs you the wrong way, then all of a sudden atheists have no purpose in life. I could give two shits what you believe. What I care about is whether you attempt to apply that belief and have it written into law and have it affect my life. Okay? So the day when your fantasy world exists, the day when your world exists, the day when Christianity cleans up its backyard and becomes something that can be personal, that they don't seek to spread their bigotry and write their bigotry into the rule of law. The day that world exists, I'll take down my fucking YouTube channel. But I don't see it happening anytime soon. So don't hold your breath. Although you might want to hold your breath, because if you suffocate and die, you get Skittles. You get some Jesus Skittles. Peace, everybody.